Welcome back, and today we're going to do a bit of a workout on the stepper. I also do want to discuss more about food. The food that we eat, we did say, is 80% of weight loss, and the little exercises we do, or big exercises, are about 20%. So here we go. We're going to talk about protein, our favorite macronutrients. We need protein to build muscles. We need protein to repair the cells in our body, to repair the muscles and all the hormonal things that go on inside, enzymatic action, chemical action. We need protein for that. So let's look at the food sources. And I'm going to look at the foods that have are packed with protein, and they are your everyday food. I'm not going to go too much into the how much of it. I always say, look at your plate. Plate your food, the protein, more vegetables. The protein about the should fit in the palm of your hand, and then the vegetables are more, and then a little bit of carbohydrate. Fat sprinkled in between during the cooking and all that stuff. Sugar we do not need because it already will be coming from the carbohydrate. But I divert. Now let's go back to the protein. The proteins, the sources of protein that we should be eating, and I'm going to list several sources that encompasses whether you are a vegetarian or a meat eater. So we already know meat packs a lot of protein. If anything, the problem we have is in picking to make sure we don't our source the source of meat that we are choosing don't have too much of other bad stuff, right? So meat, all kinds of meat, chicken, beef, turkey breast, all of them are packed with protein. But then, if you're not a meat eater, you ask yourself, what do I use? Well, if you're a fish eater, all the fishes are packed with protein. Seafood, shrimp, all of them. So, things like salmon, sardines, they are packed with protein. Sometimes we overlook things like the smaller fish, like the sardines that you can buy. If you're buying fish, try to look for wild caught fish. They have a little less exposure to the mercuries that fish can contain. So that's how you keep it down, and then try not to eat fish very often. 2 to 3 times a week is fine. And then when you eat your poultry meat, try to do skinless. I say you can actually broil or bake them with the skin, but remove the skin, because when you put the skin, obviously you have some fat in it that helps you moisturize the meat, but then remove it. Other sources include yogurt. Now if you look on my channel, I do have a video on how to make your own yogurt, because the problem with yogurt, and by the way, Greek yogurts are really the best because they are packed with a lot of protein. I don't necessarily encourage you to eat fat-free yogurt, because when they remove all the fat, again they have to put something to put the color of the white, the white that naturally comes in the yogurt with the fat. So I do not necessarily support eating fat-free. I would rather you make your own yogurt with your own milk, if possible organic, that you bought at the store, that doesn't have too much hormones, too much additives, and too much other nonsense. It is really not hard to make yogurt. Like I said, I have a video on my channel to help you with that. Other sources, especially if you're plant-based for protein, include chickpeas, lentils, your black beans, and some of the beans. The problem with the beans is, yes, they do have a lot of carbohydrates, like I spoke before in the other video, but also they are good sources of protein. So you could do those lentils, like I mentioned before, and tofu. Those will have a lot of protein, and then the other foods, especially for snacking, because that could be the way, if you do snack, that could be the way to put in your getting your protein for the day. So most of us need about 46 to 63 grams of protein. But don't be bogged up with the measurements. Like I said, look at your plate. What does it look like? The more you exercise, the more you work out, obviously, the more you need your protein and your vegetables to rebuild the body, to rebuild the muscles, the cells, and feed them. So other sources include your nuts and seeds, pumpkin nuts, squash nuts, pumpkin seeds, squash nuts, and also your nuts, the almond nuts, the walnuts, pecans, cashew nuts. They are packed with protein. So if you snack on those or incorporate them in your food, they are packed with proteins. So are peanuts. I'm not a very big fan of peanuts. First of all, do you know peanuts is not even a nut? It's a legume. It always makes me laugh when I think about it. It's called, a nut. But it is packed with a lot of fat, so in moderation. So, but the other nuts I do approve, and like I said, seeds are easy one to put for your salad topping on yogurts if you do make yogurts. Those are very good sources of protein and soya beans. I couldn't miss that. Roasted soya beans, you can, snack on those, put them on your food. Soy milk, any kind of milk are made with nuts. But again, be careful. I want you to learn how to read ingredients. I don't think I can make one video talking about reading ingredients. It tells you exactly how many grams of protein, but I don't want you to get carried away with that. I want you to look at what else is in the product. We cannot, in the bid to get one good product, get a whole bunch of other nonsense. So please, when you buy your milk, look at the sugar content. Look at what else did they add to it to use to make it thicken, especially when you're talking about milk that are not regular milk, that are not milk. I have read some of this stuff and, ooh, oat milk is the worst. Like, not that it's a bad thing, but read it. The stuff that they put in it to make it feel and taste and look the consistency of milk makes me feel like you are losing the whole idea. Yes, you're trying to maybe avoid dairy, but here you are consuming all this other nonsense like gram and other stuff to make it thick. So I have a problem with that. So again, I have on here a lot of things already, but think about lima beans, think about your garbanzo beans. They are so easy to incorporate in your food. And I did mention black beans. Let me also address the issue of eggs. Eggs are packed with protein, 6 grams in one large egg. But some of us are hesitant to eat egg because of the what we have heard about cholesterol and especially egg yolks. If those are your concerns, I will say then make it more of egg white. I always say you can put two egg whites and one egg yolk, right? So egg whites themselves are actually packed with protein. So if you're worried about cholesterol from the yellow parts, which is the egg yolk, then a lot more egg white. You get a lot of protein eating eggs, incorporating it throughout the day in your meals. And then things like a butter. When I say butter, nut butters. Look into them. There are almond nut butter that can easily go on sandwiches. There are cashew nut butter. There are sunflower nut butter. So those are easy way to incorporate protein in your food. You know what else has protein? Ta-da! Chia seed. Chia seed are full of protein. 3 grams of protein in 1 tablespoon. Oh, I like the sound of that. I usually actually eat at least a 1 tablespoon and a half with my smoothies. So that is good. So that chia seeds are packed with, they are powerful little seeds in my opinion. Omega-3 fatty acids, protein, good way to get that in. And then quinoa also has protein. It does have some carbohydrates. So again, think about that as you eat it, but it does have 8 grams of protein in 1 cup of cooked quinoa. But again, that would also consist majority of your carbohydrate. Green peas, you have about 8 grams of them in a cup. Very, very nutritious. It has, yes, some carbs, but there you go, your protein and some of your fiber incorporated in that. And then edamame. You know what I just found? Roasted edamame. Very, very, very lightly salted. They have some that are very salted. I found these at TJ Maxx and oh my God. And the prices are beautiful, but also Amazon has them, but they are very expensive, I think. But edamame, if you can cook them, there is 5 grams of protein per a quarter cup of shelled edamame. So that is a very good way to get your protein in. If you are a cheese eater, cottage cheese, be careful. Again, I am very leery about milk product because some people just grab what's off the shelf. Yogurt, cottage cheese. I would go with something that is really organic when it comes to this because you don't want the additives. Look at the sugar content. Some they have to come from cows that are cows that are raised the right way. So but if you can find them in organic form, I think cottage cheese, yogurt, they are a great source of protein. For instance, cottage cheese, and if you don't have lactose intolerance, that is, people like me, I do have lactose intolerance, so sometimes I still eat them, but they are a great source of protein, about 14 grams of protein per half a cup of cottage cheese. That's huge. So very, very good way of getting your protein, especially when you people are vegetarians, they struggle with getting their protein because most of the protein sources, the major ones are in meats and fish. Some people don't eat fish, but they're there. So you struggle. But again, I think part of it is doing your research, but you can still get enough of protein. Our body does make some amino acids, but we have amino acids that we must get from food, and those are the essential amino acids. And those are the ones we are making effort to try to eat every day. Now, as we do all this, don't forget to hydrate. Now, before I start these exercises, I usually drink a whole 8 ounce of cup of water before I even get on. Once I get up in the morning, is the first thing I do. Actually, I pour it out and put it by my bedside because I know once I get up and start going, things get tougher. So I drink the water before I even start brewing my coffee, my black coffee, and start my exercise regimen in the morning. The other thing about protein is protein makes you full. When you eat proteinous food, follow it up with your water and your vegetables, you tend not to be hungry very fast. Unlike when you eat sugary products or your carbohydrates, you stay full for a little while, but then you're hungry again. But when you have eat protein, I tell people that struggle with snacking all the time on chips or whatever, like I'm hungry all the time, I say, get you some nuts. Don't be afraid of the fat in cashew nuts and soya beans and all this other very great snacks, seeds like pumpkin seeds. Eat them. They are actually very good fat. And when you eat them, you don't feel as hungry all day. You don't feel like picking up that extra thing that's laying, extra sugary food that's laying in the conference table at work. You don't feel like it because you're full. Your water, your protein, your vegetables, they will do the job that you need. And a little bit of carbohydrate. Obviously, the more you exercise, the more you expend energy, the more you need protein and more water. And don't worry about electrolytes, they come in from all the food that you eat, especially if you're getting your 5 servings of vegetables a day. They automatically come in. Don't let anybody convince you need to buy a packet of electrolyte here and there. That's nonsense. Get it from your food. Your food has all the minerals and vitamins that you need, as long as you make the effort. Now, when you see me exercising here, I have changed from I had changed from the 5 pound weight to the 10. It might look easy, but I'm trying to get used to using this 10. They are a little bit of a workout for my upper body. So usually I still try to ease into it. I walk without the weights, then I pick up the 5 pound. Then I once I get used to it, sometimes I actually have 110 and 1.5 until I'm used to my body. My arms are used to it, but then I have progressed to using the 10 both sides. But I'm gonna be doing this process over and over again. So hey, I'm just a little pat in my back here. Moving the legs and using the dumbbells is a great way to work both upper and lower. Great way. When I go for a walk around the neighborhood, just taking a fast walk, by the time I get home after 30 minutes, I'm telling you, I am not sweating as much as I'm sweating when I do the workout here on the stepper and using my dumbbells. They are a full body workout. It is very hard for me to, right now anyway, to bend down, a little bit, squat down and come back up with those dumbbells, especially the 10 pound and stepping. But man, do I get a lot done when I do that. 15 minutes of this and I'm already sweating bullets. But I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. So if you are a person that fasts, how do you get your protein in? I fast and try to eat anywhere from 10, 11 a.m. depending on how my day is going. So again, eggs are a huge source. It's a big one. Once I eat that egg, after I break my fast, and eat egg if it's a day that I'm eating egg, but again, that's a good way to get it in. Once I do that, I don't even feel hungry for a long time. I don't. So and then slowly throughout the day I will add all the other stuff and try to get everything I need. It looks like my workout is ending, so I'm going to go ahead and work on ending this talk on protein. We have really looked at all the forms of protein. I'm showing you the way you stand when you're doing this exercise. You make sure your chest is out, tummy tucked in, and then you start stepping. That's the safest way to do this. Anyway, and make sure you're steady on the stepper. So I'm rounding it up, but I'm also trying to round up this talk. So we looked at different forms of protein: the lentils, the beans, the meat, the egg. We looked at chickpeas. We looked at fish, the little fish, salmon, and salmon is the bigger one, the little fish sardine. All of that. See you on my next video. This has been a great one. Thank you for watching.